know how willing you are to get started on your granny stripe project. So I thought I would do a little introduction video to what I want you to do for our first group session. Now, at the start of every project, you will do a slip knot, which basically gets it onto your hook, and you will at the start of every pattern you'll also do a series of chains. Now the chains are the first stitch that basically sets out the size of your work. So let's start with the slip knot. Now the way that I do a slip knot is just an easy way to do it. So I'm going to, that's the tail of my wool over here. I'm going to wrap it once, wrap it twice, pull it over once, pull it over twice, and then as you can see it's like your slip knot. There are simple ways of doing it, other ways of doing it, that's just the way that I do it. Tie it or pull it so it's then on your hook. Now the hook that I'm using is a US G hook, also known as a 4mm in the UK. Now for your granny stripe blanket, I've done 120 chains, chain links. Now I've done that, and it's quite adequate for a toddler or a child's blanket, because I'll just keep carrying on the length. If you want something bigger, then just add to it. There doesn't need to be a specific math with this blanket. So what I'm going to show you is your chain stitch, nice and simple. So you've got this is your looser end. I'm going to bring that to the front because we don't really need that. And with your hook, what you're going to do is this wool here is what's actually attached to the ball of wool. So I'm going to hook it and pull it through the loop that was already on your hook. Can you see that? That's classed as your first chain right there where my thumb is. We never count this one. This is off the hook. So that's your first one. So let me show you again. So you're going to hook your wool and pull through the hoop that was on the chain. So as you can see, we've done 2 chains. Now I'm going to do a few more just to help you sort of get the drift of it. Hook, 3, hook through the hoop, that's 4, hook through the hoop, that's 5, hook through the hoop, 6, hook through the hoop, 7, hook through the hoop, 8, hook through the hoop, that's 9, hook through the hoop, that's 10. Now the reason I've done 10 is if you're going to do a large amount of chains, I would recommend that you just try and practice this. It doesn't matter how many you do, just keep trying until you've mastered it, because as you can see here, the tension doesn't need to be tight, but you don't want it too loose either. So just play about with doing as many of those as you want. But when you do come to making your blanket, what I would recommend is either getting some stitch counters or a different colour wool to what you're doing your chain in, and for every 10 that you've done, put a stitch marker on your 10th one. So at the moment there's 10 off the hook. As I said, we never count this one, because this, once I've hooked it, will be the 11th. But I would put a marker on the 10th and every 10, so on, just so then you know how many you've done, because it can be confusing to count. Anyway, hope that's okay. Any questions, just give me a bell. Cheers.